Hey everybody, welcome back to Creature Feature. I'm here with the lovely Kelly, where we talk about all the things that can hurt you. And I have a question for you before we get
Mhm.
started.
For me or the audience?
For both, actually.
Okay.
Do you think we're becoming the bane of our DMs by studying by studying all these creatures?
Honestly, yes, but also our DMs watch us, so I think we're also helping them out. So I think it balances it out.
I'm not sure if I want it to. I'm not sure if I'm happy or sad that our DMs watch us because
Yeah.
they know now that we know
We all know
what
now.
they're getting up to. And so they're going to make it harder on
Oh yeah.
both of us.
They might even take our ideas of like, "Oh, how would you put this into a D&D campaign?" Well, this is what I would do. Well, now face it. So there you go.
How would we put this one into DM? Just putting it right there, out there. The big bad guy's the farmer.
Mhm. It's always the farmer, Old
Our
McDonald.
old McDonald had a farm, and on that farm was just so many cockatrices.
Oh god, so many cockatrices. Oh my
Uh,
god. Yes,
so
that's
that's where
typical.
we are today. We're talking about the cockatrices, and I'm going to hand
Mhm.
full reign back over to Miss Kelly,
Are you sure about
who,
that? I thought we learned last time.
let's be honest, is has been doing a lot of research. This is her 4 weeks. I know exactly
Mhm.
what I'm covering the next couple weeks on my
Ooh,
own. So,
I'm excited about that one. Oh my goodness. But yes, today we are talking about the cockatrace. And as the title says, wait, haven't we covered this before? Because it will sound a lot like the basilisk. There are some minor differences. The biggest major one is the look, as we saw with the Basilisk of Warsaw, look kind of like a cockatrice. So essentially, yeah, but there are some minor details that are a little bit different, including the origin of where cockatrice come from. Now, looking it up in real life, basilisks were mentioned way before the cockatrice was. Basilisk showed up in Pliny the Elder's natural history, which was like in AD. The the cockatrice didn't show up until the Middle Ages. So they do have that time difference. Now it was said that the cockatrice was created because, like we said in the last episode, supposedly a rooster's crow could kill a basilisk. So if a rooster's crow could kill your basilisk, you got to think of another way to be able to make a creature that is a little bit harder to kill. So why not just, I don't know, breed it with a rooster?
uh,
So,
yeah, that's a good point. And unlike a basilisk, who was, I believe, a snake or a toad
mm-hmm,
egg that was incubated by a chicken.
yep, mm-hmm,
This is specifically a cockatrice is specifically made from a rooster egg that is incubated by a toad, which
mm-hmm,
is something that I mentioned last week. Harry Potter
mm-hmm,
said is
yep,
how
mhm.
basilisk made. So Harry Potter, um, she actually
They were
got
told.
it backwards.
Mm-hmm, yes, but yes, if your petrifying monster is part rooster, rooster's crow can't kill it. So that was their logic with mages and alchemists creating the cockatrice.
Oh, but I think they were very wrong
Oh
on
yeah.
that because Rooster's Crow it well is either frightening
Mm.
or will either frighten a cockatrice or enrage a cockatrice. It's about
Yes.
a 50-50 chance.
Yes. Because I mean, really, if you think about it, what doesn't piss off a cockatrice?
So I lived in the country for a long part of my
Yes.
life, and I'm gonna be honest. If I was to wake up and hear a rooster crow, I'd probably get pretty enraged too.
No,
Honestly,
no, I understand. See, whereas basilisks, they're more laid back, kind of lizard, snake-like, usually only reacting whenever prey is around. Cockatrices are vain, greedy, mean creatures who just whereas the basilisk, you have to go to it. The cockatrice will go after you.
yes, they're s- very territorial and very aggressive,
Mhm.
and this
Yes.
becomes a problem because often cockatrices will find their way into villages and
Yes. I saw it this way. Cockatrices are like these small yippy dogs.
small yappy dogs.
Yes, that's pretty much what cockatrices are because they are very much small creature. I think what is it? They don't get that big at all. Not entirely sure how big, but they're very small.
So, from
Just
what I could gather, the first cockatrices, when they first started popping up in lore, and give me 1 second, people.
mhm,
I know I don't. I just realized I don't have a picture up, and I'm
mhm,
working on that right now for you. When they first started popping off in lore, they
mhm,
were about the size of your hand, so they would
mhm.
fit pretty
Yeah, they were
comfortably in
pretty teeny tiny.
the size of your hand.
I'm
And
pretty
then
sure
they sort of just got bigger over time.
yeah, I think they're about the size of a goose or a turkey, which is still, not very big, but whenever it comes to bird size, it's pretty big. They're definitely bigger than an actual rooster or
It's
chicken.
still frighteningly,
Mhm.
frighteningly big.
Yes.
Um, we're talking this creature that is
Yeah. It has
basically the body of a chicken, the
wings of a bat,
wings of a bat or dragon,
mhm, tail of like a dragon lizard thing that has it has spotty feathers all over it that are just dirty, gross.
and I'm having a hard time finding there's a proper freaking file.
But yes, the cockatrice very much looks like a lizard hybrid rooster in the best sense of words. Looks very annoying for the most part, but I mean, anybody who has dealt with roosters or chickens, especially roosters, know that they got a bad attitude. You do not want to mess with a rooster whenever you are on his territory. You do not want to fully mess with a cockatrice while on its territory. Now, with cockatrices, like I said, they're very mean, very greedy, very vain. They fly into fits of rage because they'll fight over anything and everything.
Oh
Now,
boy, will they.
oh yeah, the one thing that I like thinking about is like they're almost like little mini dragons because they love gold shiny things. Like any good bird out there, they love gold shiny things. And oftentimes, if you find it's kind of like walking into a tiny dragon's lair
Mhm.
because their nest will be surrounded by gold and shiny trinkets, objects, something, and they will fight to the death for this stuff. Even if it's just somehow you have tinfoil in your campaign, they will fight to the death for that tinfoil. That
Must
is precious
protect
to
the
them.
shiny.
Exactly. Now, oftentimes too, with having this much wealth as they see it in their nest, it is a way to bolster their own status amongst other cockatrices because oftentimes there are more males than there are females. So you will usually never see a female cockatrice by themselves. And they have count one female to essentially about 10 males. And this female will lay about 1 to 2 eggs. Now, in the nest, that's where you'll find the gold and everything. The only way to get a cockatrice to leave the gold alone is if the female is constantly producing eggs, but they do not reach to maturity to, provide heirs, more cockatrices, they will abandon the nest, seeing as it is cursed and won't even grab the gold from it. They're like, nope, everything that this nest has touched is cursed. We need to go someplace else because I'm pretty sure there's only like, I know basilisks, the one difference too, basilisks, they're pretty fertile with a 90% chance that if they lay an egg, it will hatch. With cockatrices, it's down a little bit. Like there's a 40% chance that the egg will not hatch. So there is that. So you might just randomly in a campaign walk upon a cursed land that the cockatrice had used to nest at. Oh god, could you imagine? It's like this land is cursed. It's like cursed land and chicken scratch. And it's just a bunch of it empty.
Literal chicken scratch, and
Yes,
it's
like
just
it's
a
just
bunch of empty nest.
yeah, with gold in it. It's like, "Ah, thank you. Ah, thank you. Now you have done it. You have gotten the cockatrice curse."
Now none of your eggs will reach maturity.
No, the 100% that curse would be at this time exactly, you will hear a rooster crow.
Oh god, that makes my eye twitch just thinking about it.
Right?
Because
No.
a lot of people, especially people that live in the city, think that roosters only crow like in the morning. No,
Mm-mm.
roosters crow
No.
all the time.
Mhm.
Literally all the time.
Yep.
Because the reason why they crow is they're trying. Give me a second. I'm trying to get some better lighting. There we go. Okay. Okay. So the reason why they crow is because they're trying to protect their
Mhm.
brood. Is it a
Yeah.
brood?
I I think so. They're trying to protect their chicks, pretty much.
And
And I don't mean the eggs.
I imagine a cockatrice's crow is probably significantly more
Oh god, I could just
annoying. Er.
very, like, hoarse and gargly at the same time.
So, did you happen to come across if a farmer thinks that he has a cockatrice egg in his in house? Did you happen to stumble across how you fix that?
I did not actually.
So, this is funny.
Oh my god, I
So,
can't wait to
legend
hear this.
says if you find a cockatrice egg in your hen house, the way to remove the curse is to toss the egg over your house without touching the roof, and that will remove the enchantment. I mean,
So,
there's probably something else that egg's going to do when it reaches the other side of your house, but
yeah, splatter, you know?
that'll do it. You figure you just can't. Why not just break the egg? And it doesn't explain uh, it. What I found, it doesn't explain why you specifically have to toss it over your roof to break the egg. But
Without touching too.
without touching the roof. So I don't know, like if you toss it over or you just break the egg. If like, oh well, I guess the cockatrice is hatched now.
Well, it it was talking about the curse, so maybe regardless if the cocka I guess what they were worried about is, yeah, you smash the egg, but the possibility is like it got there. How did it get there? If you don't do it correctly, another one will pop up.
Maybe that doesn't
Maybe.
explain it.
It no, it doesn't explain it, but I'm trying, okay? I'm trying to come up with a reason because essentially I just imagine Farmer Fred, throwing the egg and then all of a sudden hearing it hit his roof and then hit the ground a splat and go, God Damn it!
Yeah,
I can't redo it.
just imagine Fred walking out and being like, "God damn it! And the damn toads got into the got
Yes,
into the
exactly.
hen house again." And now,
Yep, exactly.
one of the other ways that they say if you suspect a cockatrice is
Mhm.
on your land or menacing you, toss a weasel into your hen house,
Yep,
which will
yep.
cause the rooster to crow. And
Which is crazy because weasels, basilisks.
mhm, the
Mhm.
apparently weasels are pretty tough
Yeah.
because they're immune to the petrification of both a cockatrice and a
Yeah.
basilisk.
Yeah. Yeah, they
You
can
could
take those
not
fuckers down.
petrify the fur noodle.
I mean, yeah, they straight up saw a mongoose, was like, "That's a weasel and that's a badass," because
The-
they probably saw a mongoose fighting a snake and was like, "This is an epic battle. This is the final showdown right here."
it just goes back to that meme that we have today where mongooses don't care.
They really don't.
They really don't care.
No. Whenever it comes to if the cockatrice eggs do hatch, unlike the basilisks, who, whenever the minute they are hatched, they have full reign of their petrification as adults do, the cockatrice chicks have to wait till they start getting feathers. Apparently, even though I was trying to find how it tied in because oftentimes with the basilisk, it's the eyes. Like alchemists will pay for the eyes of the basilisk, the eyelids, something related to the eyes. Alchemists in D&D will pay for the feathers. The feathers are where the petrification is, apparently.
I honestly think that petrification is just a holdover from when cockatrices were considered basilisks back
Mhm.
before they got separated out. I
Because
th- because there's no reason why a cockatrice would turn
mm,
a um, human into
yeah.
or turn
Well,
anything into stone because they
mm,
don't have any means of eating it
well,
once it's
that's
stone.
that's the thing though. The biggest difference between a basilisk, which, as we said, basilisks can their stomach acid can dissolve. Once the stone hits their stomach, it turns fleshy and slowly dissolves, and they eat it. Cockatrice, now, they hunt in packs. They will petrify their food. One, they each take turns. I don't know if they rock, paper, scissor it or whatever, but they each take turns. They can switch off their petrification. And as the petrification slowly wears away, they eat. Now,
So this is another case of what's their meal? Their meal is you.
yeah, but essentially, cockatrices do prefer rats and snakes, smaller kind of prey. They will eat humans, but it has to be like a whole bunch going after one. It's not the basilisk where they can just petrify you and get to you later. This
Yeah,
is
because we're still
uh,
talking about a creature that's maybe
mhm,
this big at
yeah,
the most.
yeah.
We're not.
Essentially, yeah, you have to have they're only gonna be able because like I said, the petrification does not last long. If you kill a basilisk, sorry, you're still gonna be petrified unless somebody does some kind of anti-petrification to you. Cockatrice, it dies within time. You'll depetrify
That's why
rather
remember
quickly.
adventures always bring a paladin.
Mhm. But yes, the cockatrice, they can't eat stone like a basilisk can, so they turn theirs off. Not entirely sure exactly how, but apparently the feathers have a lot to do with it because whenever it comes to if you are able to get a hold of a cockatrice feathers, you can use it like 1 to 4 days. It retains the petrification. Once a cockatrice is dead, it loses the ability, but it's still in the feathers. And alchemists have found a way to extend this. So essentially, like from what I was reading, If you find cockatrice feathers, you need to do mending because it has to be in perfect condition. There has to be nothing wrong with it, and there's some kind of alchemic equation in order to keep the petrification, and apparently people make clothes out of it and hats and weapons and everything. Could you imagine, like, "Oh, do you like my jacket?" And then next thing you know, you're a statue. Or somebody tries to steal your wallet and then they're a statue. Their hand just, "Oh, hey,
So
what were you doing there?"
so wait, if they touch the feathers, it causes
It's
petrification?
it's something like that. I'm not entirely sure. All I know is that I read it's like a lot of rangers will put the feathers on their bows to give petrification, but apparently the feathers are where it's at whenever it comes to these powers. Not not entirely sure why. I tried to find out why, but yeah, I guess maybe in a way to make the cockatrice and the basilisk a little bit different,
And
but like,
those things are more dangerous. They're
mhm,
they're I'm slightly more terrified now of a cockatrice than I
yes.
am of a basilisk.
Well, see, here's like also there is 100% a market for cockatrice in D&D. Now, this is totally up for any DM. If you want to have a market for cockatrice, you can set the prices, but normally adult cockatrices go up to, they are in the price range about 500 gold to 1,000 gold. But that's because
Holy
they're
moly.
alive. They're alive. You know it. They have the feathers, all that stuff. Eggs go for 300 to 60 gold, but that is depending because, like I said, cockatrice are not like basilisks in the sense of 90% of their eggs will be turned into an actual living, breathing basilisk. Cockatrice, that's a little iffy. So you can definitely, the eggs are a little bit lower price, but still kind of high because the possibility of, hey, I can have a I can have a cockatrice. And it's actually quite funny considering who buy it because you think alchemists, mages, yeah. But apparently there's been
Underground
stories.
cockatrice fights, you know.
Yeah. There have been apparently stories of artists, sculptors taking cockatrices because apparently there was this story and an old edition and then 5e came out where it said, you know, petrification doesn't last long, but artists apparently will buy cockatrices, petrify somebody, sell that petrified person to someone as their artwork because they will, yeah, and then scam them, take the money, and then this person wakes up and it's like, what the fuck? I'm not a statue.
So when you say artist, you mean the party rogue.
Yes, the party rogue,
The party rogue.
exactly. Yes.
You don't mean an artist. You mean
No.
the warlock and the rogue got together and had a great
Yes.
idea.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's literally what I was gonna say. I was about to say the warlock came over to the rogue, was like, "You wanna have some, you wanna have a lot more fun? You wanna
You want
make a
to have
lot of
some
money?"
fun and
Yeah.
make a so the D&D description says,
Mhm,
and I quote, this is from D&D Beyond. The
mhm.
cockatrice looks like a hideous hybrid of lizard, bird, and bat, and its infamous ability to turn flesh into stone. These omnivores have a diet that consists of berries, nuts, flowers, small animals such as insects, mice, frogs. They'll swallow whole. They would be no threat to anything else if not for the fierce of a frenzied response to any hint of danger. A cockatrice into the face of any threat, squawking and madly batting its wings at its head, pecking and doing small scratches. Let's see. The smallest scratch from a cockatrice beak can spell doom, as its victim will slowly turn to stone from the injury.
Yeah, they may be small, but they vicious as fuck. Because
Now,
essentially, it's just like any kind of rooster or chicken. They feel like they're in danger. They're going for the eyes.
coincidentally, this this Cockatrice, if you're using the XP system in D&D, it will
Mhm.
only net you 100 XP to kill because it's only a challenge rating of a half.
Mhm.
Its armor class is 11. It
Mhm.
has 27 hit points on average, which is 66 plus 6 if you like to roll for such a thing. I personally
Mhm.
like to roll for all my monsters to have
Mhm.
HP because I find I can
Mhm.
often get more HP than what it says.
Yeah.
It's got a speed of 20 feet, but a fly
Mhm.
speed of
40.
40. It gets a
I
plus
did
one on initiative.
yeah, I did read about the fly speed and the 100% they're gonna fly up, but they get tired quick. So I think it can only last 2 rounds in the air before it has to come down and take a break.
I'll be honest, dude, if it's Frug, he's just gonna punch it as it comes up. Now,
There you go.
coincidentally, D&D leaves out one key feature of the cockatrice, and is
Mhm.
that in some lore, the cockatrice can breathe fire.
Mhm. Yeah,
Which I think if they added that, that challenge rating would probably go
yeah.
up a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, actually, I seen on there that they had Undead Cockatrace, and I was like, "Oh god, I gotta look at that, see what that's about."
Yeah, that's what
But
you
yes,
want, a cockatrice
yeah.
that won't die.
Yes, "Why won't you die? I want you for dinner." But yes, their strength is a 6, so a -2. Dex is 12 plus 1. Constitution's 12 plus 1. Intelligence, 2, so -4. Very dumb creatures. Wisdom is a 13, so plus 1. And charisma is a 5, -3. So they're not telling a lot of jokes at dinner parties. Essentially, they are aware of who they are in the ecosystem. They know that
Would you
they're
say their
Billy
intelligence
they
is? Their
it's
intelligence is of a basic
yeah,
creature that
yeah.
lives to eat and
Mhm. Wisdom-wise,
reproduce.
it's just like the basilisk, like, where the basilisk may not be that smart, but it remembers its territory. It remembers if a trap was used against it, it'll remember that trap. Like, a lot of animals we have, if certain animals are pitted against a certain trap, they'll learn it real quick.
So a cockatrice is not smart enough to know that a tomato is a fruit, but it is smart enough to know, or has enough wisdom to know that no one really cares.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It certainly doesn't. It'll eat it regardless.
Yeah, it's an omnivore.
Yep.
Um, so cockatrices don't show up a lot in pop culture.
No, no, they really don't. Actually, Shakespeare loved talking about cockatrices. I do know that. It a cockatrice was actually mentioned in Richard th- Richard the Third and Romeo and Juliet. It says, "Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but A, and that bare vow I shall poison more than the death darting eye of a cockatrice." Did I read Romeo and Juliet? Did not realize that in Richard the Third. Oh, ill despairing when a misery. Oh, my accused womb, the bed of death, a cockatrice hast thou hatched to the world, whose unavoidable eyes is murderous. So apparently Shakespeare enjoyed cockatrices. There's
Well, back then it's tough to know if he was talking about the
mhm,
cockatrices as we know them now, or if he
yeah,
was talking about the cockatrice that was the basilisk.
yeah.
And
It's
coincidentally, the cockatrice, the confusion
mhm,
over it dates back to when the Bible was being translated to English.
mhm.
The gentleman who did it, I don't know his name. I'm sorry, I'm doing him a big disservice.
How
But
dare you?
he so believe it or not, there wasn't that many English speaking individuals back
Mhm.
then. Um, and so there wasn't a lot of literature in
Mhm.
English. So a lot of these stories from the Bible, which were being translated, we didn't have words for, and we didn't have phrases.
Mhm.
So one of the things he had to do is he had to come up with phrases and words, and he made a mistake and
Words. They're so hard.
translated. Literally back then they were. He made a mistake and translated basilisk into cockatrice, and as well as what we think as a cockatrice into a cockatrice as well,
Mhm.
because
I think
both
he I
are
think he just
depicted
wanted
in
to
the.
write cock. He wanted a reason to write cock. He's like,
He
I
was
can't draw dicks. This is bullshit. I wanna write cock at least."
he was a pervert.
Mhm.
He's like, I'm doing the Lord's work, so I can't write.
Mm.
He's like, I'm just gonna slip it in there.
But if I add a trace at the end,
Yeah,
we're good.
yeah.
Yeah, I know, again, with your obsession with Harry Potter and the basilisk, a cockatrice is mentioned in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by apparently Hermione in
Hmm.
chapter 15. It
Hmm.
has that information, the exact chapter. Um,
Can you
Cockatrace.
imagine how less terrifying it would have been in the Chamber of Secrets if
It would
instead
have
of a
been
basilisk, it was just a cockatrice, and it's just Harry running out of the bathroom being chased by a chicken?
those things are vicious, okay? They're terrifying, and those little beaks, God, nope.
Just,
There's yeah,
I mean, a
yeah.
scratch from their beak will cause a wound that will slowly turn you to stone.
Then Cockatrace is apparently shown as the main antagonist in Netflix Little Witch Academia, and shows up again
Really?
as a dungeon boss in the gameplay section of Little Witch Academia Chamber of Time video game for PC and PlayStation 4. So yeah, Basilisk is more present in pop culture and
It's
what we know, but Cockatrace are in there if
it's
you
also
pay
the mascot for a show called Good Mythical Morning on YouTube.
I need to watch that.
Hmm. It's their logo is a cockatrice
That
because
is amazing.
morning and chicken or rooster,
Mhm. Yeah,
mythical.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now, there is a cockatrice in New York.
really.
Mhm. At, the Belvedere Castle in Central Park. It's been there, I believe, since 1869. Of course, it looks more of like a mixture between the basilisk and a cockatrice. It's a lot more griffin looking, but yes.
See here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Yep.
I'm gonna pull this down for the audience to see.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, now
I
see,
mean, let's be honest.
it's
If they weren't so small, they
mhm.
would be a really cool to look at
That
mythical
they really
creature.
would. I actually think the one in Warsaw should be considered a cockatrice, and that one more so a basilisk because it looks a
Yes,
little
that one's
bit more like
clearly
it.
more snake-like.
Yeah, yes, it has the feathers, but it looks a little bit more lizard-like, whereas the one in Warsaw
Very
just
clearly a cockatrice. Sorry,
yeah.
Warsaw. You got it
Yes,
wrong. Just
you
face the
got it
facts.
wrong,
You got it
sorry.
very, very wrong.
Now, supposedly, there was a cockatrice back in the 14th centuries in Lancashire, England, and apparently it was a symbol of 3 fighter squadrons of the Royal Army, the Royal Air Force, I'm sorry. So, yeah, apparently the cockatrice symbol, while not up, in pop culture a whole lot, especially over in England, there is a lot of representation
Mhm.
whenever it comes to that. But yeah, like it's pretty neat. And like that story that I told with Warsaw, the Warsaw Basilisk and everything, there's also stories of criminals going into church basements and that where children had died
Mhm.
and criminals being sent in saying, "Hey, if you can slay this creature, you can live. If you die, you die." And they say, "Yeah, might as well die now than by the hangman's noose, a couple months from now."
At
So
least you die on
apparently,
your own terms that way.
exactly, and you have the possibility of getting out.
Right.
And supposedly this criminal went in and then just popped right back out and held up this chicken, like this lizard chicken thing. And it's like, "Oh, I found it. It was dead whenever I found it." And then even though he didn't kill the creature, he was set free.
Like, I don't know what you guys were so scared of. This thing is like a foot tall.
Yeah, it was teeny tiny. It was already dead by time he got to it, and they still let him free, even though he did not kill it.
It's like, even if I had to kill it, I probably would have just kicked it.
God, I was gonna give it to my friend Colonel Sanders. There
Colonel
he
Sam,
is.
Cockatrice fried chicken.
Yep, there you go. Extra crispy. Oh my god.
Oh,
But yeah.
Jesus. So there
But
are some differences. Now, I've got a question
mhm,
for you, and I got a question for the chat.
mhm,
So sound off in the chat. How do you
mhm.
like your cockatrices? With fire or without fire? I personally like them minus the turning people to stone at a glance, but plus the fire breathing.
I do like that. I do like the idea of, like, kinda like what we were talking about with the, with, what, Brandon was like, the stone breath, all that stuff, because a basilisk, it says their breath is they're so dangerous, even their breath is dangerous. I would love to see, like, you're up in, like, the mountains, cold as fuck, and then all of a sudden you're like, "There is that a rooster?" And then he's, like, breathing on you and just throwing icicles at you, and it's just like, "What the fuck?"
It kind of makes me wonder, why isn't there a cockatrice Pokemon?
Right? Oh god, you're probably gonna look that up.
I'm gonna look that up because I don't think there is one. Um, and there should because
Yeah.
they did England, and this
Mhm,
is very much a
mhm. Yes, this is a very
European monstrosity.
yes, it is.
No, there is not a proper cockatrice Pokemon. There's lots of fan art.
Well, there you at least they have that, I guess. But, yeah, that's very strange considering they have, a bunch of other mythical creatures as including Electabuzz,
Hmm.
but, still, maybe we should write them a letter and let them know
Well, I
that
mean,
they need to have.
they do have an upcoming game
Mhm.
that takes place in Spain.
There you go.
So we get
I
another chance.
maybe, fingers
Let's
crossed.
cross my fingers for the cockatrice
Yeah,
Pokemon.
otherwise we're gonna have to write a very angry letter.
Dear you incompetent.
Exactly. Now, with whenever it comes to the cockatrice, because it's like I'm I'm not a big fan of cockatrice, but I'm definitely gonna say if it came between picking a basilisk or a cockatrice, I can see why the basilisk is picked more because they are more dangerous looking, whereas the cockatrice is more gross looking and possibly easy to beat. I kind of feel bad for the cockatrice because I had an idea of, like, essentially, like I said, the cockatrice being a tiny dragon.
Mhm.
They have this little horde, and your party goes into this place where they've heard is a dragon's lair, but it turns out there's a bunch of cockatrices. And they're like, oh, it's adorable. They think it's easy to defeat. It's not. And then it turns out there's a reason why the cockatrices do hang out there because in the back is a dragon with his lair and
and his
anything that
gold.
spills off. So automatically you're like, "Oh, that's super easy." And then all of a sudden you hear the dragon like, "I heard the noise you were making." They seem to make great minion kind of like if you need to have there or you know, they're going into a place that they really should not go into. The cockatrice is like, "No, fuck you. I'm taking your eyes out."
No, I'm telling you, the big bad guy's a farmer.
Mhm. 100%.
And he's had a rough couple of seasons. So he starts growing cockatrices to terrorize, and he's gone out of his mind. And he's got this huge
Mhm.
plan to take over the world
Oh god.
using cockatrices.
Super great idea. You have a serial killer farmer who has cockatrices, and he throws out the body parts to the cockatrices, so, chopped up, so they have that bloodlust for, like, human flesh, and then the party comes, and then it's just like, "Oh, there's people, fresh people, let's eat them."
Well, you know that if you got away with it with your DM, and you had to talk to your DM about this,
Mhm,
if you removed the stone glare,
mhm.
make a pretty fun familiar.
Oh, yes, yes. Apparently, they can be trained, just like
Hmm.
a basilisk, but it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of patience, and on top of it, they're not that bright. So they're not able to do a whole lot, but they can be a cute little mascot in their own way.
Kind of makes me wonder, like, would a cockatrice omelet be spicy, just naturally spicy?
Mhm. Oh, yeah, 100%. I see them being loud and sassy.
Oh, loud and sassy. Oh,
Just
man.
loud and sassy all the time, and just also half the time whenever they're loud and sassy, like, they're just yelling at somebody, then they turn around and hit their head in the door. Like, 100% see them doing something like that, and
And do they do this
I love
thing
it.
that chickens do when you cut their head off? Do they still run around and for a little
I
bit?
don't I don't know, I did not see that,
Run around with
but
a cockatrice with its head cut off?
but hey, I mean, if you wanna do that in your campaign, go ahead. I mean, oh god, you gave me a very terrible idea and stuff like that. I'm over here thinking of a Hydra cockatrice. You cut its head off, 2
Two
more
more
grow
pop
back.
up in its place.
Eh,
Oh, God. That's
right?
very terrifying.
Bishop and Brandon definitely do not need to be watching this.
Yeah, if you guys are watching, go away. This isn't
Yeah,
for you.
you will terrify Joe. Do not do that to him.
But on the plus side, what you could do is because they're so small, you could
Mhm.
quickly make it grow so many heads it just falls over.
Oh my god. No, 'cause that's the thing too, is I have seen some pictures because, again, this is DM. Whatever you wanna do, you wanna do. You could have the little minion kinda cockatrice and then a gigantic one. Because I have
But
actually
they
seen.
sort of range in mythology from all
Oh,
sizes,
yeah,
from
like,
the
I
size of a
seen this
man
one
to the size of.
I seen this one picture of a cockatrice. And, it had the skull of a bull underneath its feet. So, yeah, 100% you can make them any size that you want. Like, it's pretty badass. So, I was just like, yeah, you could totally. Oh god. 100. Oh god, why can I what are the creatures' name? Why can I not think of it right now? The creature's name that you ride in, Final Fantasy.
Mhm.
You could make, like, cockatrice mounts like that.
So I'm looking into. I pulled up a list of places where cockatrices, and they include
Mhm.
basilisk in this as well.
Yes.
Places that cockatrices have shown
Mhm.
up in pop culture. The anime Berserk, a
Mhm.
cockatrice shows up after a
Mhm.
griffin causes mythological creatures to become real. It's quickly taken out. Um, let's see. That's a basilisk. Yeah, we got like mostly basilisk here.
Yeah.
The Dark Angel trilogy of books. There's a Cockatrice. That'd be one to talk to Annie
Yeah.
about because she's
Yeah,
our
but
local book nerd. There's no Cockatrice in films.
no.
There's tons of
Yeah.
basilisk.
Yeah, if you take the, uh, chocobo from
Hmm.
Final Fantasy, but make it a basilisk mount, that would be
Hmm.
badass. Like, make it the same size because they kinda almost look the same, just add more lizardy looks to it.
There's a video game, Boktai. The sun
Yes.
is
Yeah,
is in
I've
your
heard of
hands.
Mhm.
Cockatrices resembling giant chickens with snake tails are found in there. Um, there's
So,
Digimon.
mhm,
There's a
I,
Cockatrice Digimon.
I just looked up the Undead Cockatrace. The
Oh God, what
description
did you
is
do?
perfect. The description is perfect. The cockatrice looks like a hideous hybrid of lizard, bird, and bat, and it's infamous for its ability to turn flesh to stone. This one is undead.
I'm not seeing the undead. I'm not seeing a picture of the undead Cockatrice.
No, I'm not. It doesn't have a picture, but I just love that it's just like the exact same thing. It's just this one's undead.
Oh
Why?
God,
Just because it is.
this I'm taking. I tell you, this is a homebrew
More than
creature.
likely. I don't know.
I mean, that would probably bump its CR rating. I'm gonna guess here because
Right
yeah, I know
there.
you've got its stat sheet pulled in front of you. I'm gonna take a wild guess. That's probably a CR1 or a CR2.
It's a 1,
It's a one.
it's all 100% the same as a
Okay.
cockatrice. The only difference is this one's undead.
I wonder if it has the same thing that zombies have in 5e, where
I'm
if
not entirely
you
sure.
don't, where if you kill a zombie, the DM rolls a
Mhm.
dice and it has a chance of getting back up.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. It didn't say anything like that on there. I mean, you can definitely probably make a better undead cockatrice. I'm not entirely sure. I just love that it just said same thing, just
Just,
this one's undead.
just the same thing.
Yep.
We've I think we've exhausted everything we have to talk about.
Yeah,
And
because
it's almost time to
and it's
end the
great because
streams. So it's
there was a lot of information. I mean, I'm not saying there's not a lot of information about cockatrice, but there's far more basilisks because
mhm.
they're older and more popular whenever it comes to the two of being able to petrify. Like I
Yeah,
said,
it's
I
definitely one of the more
mhm,
obscure monsters.
yeah, I definitely would enjoy seeing one being used. I mean, I threw a couple ideas out there D&D wise of how to put a cockatrice in a campaign. Do you have any ideas of how to put a cockatrice in a campaign?
Evil farmer. Let's go.
Yep. There you go. Let's
I like to run goofy one shots, and I'm writing down evil cockatrice farmer
there you go.
on it. I did have something. So we mentioned, and I still swear that I've never seen Harry Potter. I've only done a deep dive in the lore. That the Council of Wizards actually check hen houses for toads.
Yes, I remember that. Right. Yep.
How much funnier would it have been? And how much less of an issue would Basilisk have been if they were cockatrices instead?
Oh god. No, I think they would be a maybe a little bit more of a problem because it's like one, we can't use a rooster to kill it. And two, they hunt all together. A basilisk is like, I'm going off on my own. They gotta have at least 10 to every one female.
You just open the hen house and they're like, huh.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of a
It's like,
snake, instead of a
yeah,
fairly large
100%.
snake, they're just like, oh
Well,
god, it's
yeah,
so ugly.
100% would rather see a basilisk than the like multi-looking chicken. It's like, oh god, it's disgusting.
I
Kill
don't
it.
know.
Kill it with
You give
fire.
me a choice of encountering the two in the wild, and I'm picking the foot tall
No,
chicken.
yeah, 100%. But it's like you look at a basilisk, you're like, wow, that's majestic, almost looking. Like you could see why they're so terrifying. The Cockatrace is just fired to be like burning hands. There we go.
You're just like fried chicken.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's got feathers right here and right there, but not over here. But yes, they're
I think Pyre's gonna end up with a cockatrice pet.
oh my
It would
god.
be
Pyra's
perfect
gonna
for
end
her.
up with a lot of things thanks to
A
this
lot
show.
of
She's gonna have a
things.
Oni mask, a cockatrice pet, a no,
Shelter for
Frug's gonna
battered for battered
yeah,
goblin women.
yes, and then Frug's gonna end up with a basilisk mount. I mean, yeah,
Oh yeah,
essentially
oh
we
yeah. I'm looking at you, Bishop. Basilisk mount for Frug. Let's go.
and and 100% they're gonna use the creatures against us, but they're not gonna give us this cool stuff we're coming up with.
Oh
Of
yeah,
course
no,
not.
no. They're 100% gonna throw the creatures at us, but we're not gonna get any of the cool stuff. Well,
Mhm.
dear Kelly, do you want to talk to us about what's coming up in Player Hater Gaming?
Right. Alright. Yeah, the tomorrow over at, Knighted Bishop, Twitch channel, we, along with some others, will be playing actually, I think that game has been canceled, I'm pretty sure, but normally on Fridays, we play the
Oh, sorry, pulled up that's
yeah.
on the wrong screen. Um,
The, Bindings of Heron Colder,
yeah,
where
I'm not. Let's
yeah,
see, Temptations of Reldon.
where
So it
Zooey
is
plays
canceled tomorrow.
mhm,
Yes.
yeah. So plays his character Frug, and I did play a character in Reldon named Bitsy, but now play Mother, who now has Bitsy in her mind. It's very confusing. It's very good. We just killed off the Leonin race, apparently. We don't know why, and we're not gonna find out tomorrow. So that's going to make a lot of people, aka King and Corin, wonder what the hell is going on. Then Sunday we have the chill stream
Hmm?
that shows up on. Will you be at this chill stream or not?
I will be. I will
There we go.
actually be doing probably two
Mhm.
streams on Sunday
Okay. Oh man.
because I will be home alone with nothing to do.
Oh my god. Will you would you be doing that the entire time? Because 'Cause you're home alone?
So I'll probably do the chill stream,
Oh my god.
and then we'll do, and then probably take a short break, and then another stream after that.
Okay.
I will say, that I'm going to try to convince them to do Sea of Thieves. If I
There you
can't,
go.
then I will be resuming my solo pirate king adventure on my own later on
Yeah.
that day.
Then, go over Sunday night, check out Twisted Perception with their campaign that is going on.
Their
Some
fantastic modern 5e campaign. That's
mhm.
just,
Yeah, I
Ford is a very talented DM.
oh,
That
yeah.
whole
He
crew
is
is just
a
very
lot of
talented.
they are a lot of fun. I with the like I've said before, with the crossover and then the one shot, I had a lot of fun. Made a lot of memories. Definitely love it. And then starting the week off will be Tuesday, Hive Mind. That's my show that was handed to me, and yeah, I'm super excited.
Just sort of dropped in your lap per se.
Yep. Yep, but I've had a lot of fun so far and hoping to get a little bit better as being not a guest but a host on my own show. And then of course we have
Because you're
Wednesday.
covering a lot more of homebrew stuff on Hive
Yes,
Mind.
yes, the building of anything and everything, including monsters. And
With-
like I said, maybe one day we need to. I mean, we're already collaborating on creature feature, but maybe we need to have a hive mind slash creature feature kind of
I need to make a
join
appearance on
together.
Hive Mind.
Yes, and we can make a creature.
Let me get some affairs in order,
Okay,
and the week you're gonna do
and,
that, let me know, and I
have
will.
your people talk to my people.
I'll have my secretary call your secretary.
That's me. I'm my own secretary. I'm everybody's secretary. The only shitty thing is I can't remember my shit. I can remember everybody else's shit. But yes, we'll have to do that. That will be a lot of fun. And then Wednesday, again with the wild cards campaign, we just finished the Volbeck arc. Pyre got some answers about some things. She's gonna be okay for the most part. She at least survived the fight. She got Joseph's name on her list twice. So that's good. We're going to be coming back to see what Volbeck the wild card's working on Volbeck and see where they are off to next. And then guess what happens that next Thursday? Creature Feature. We will
Creature
be back.
feature. And what are we talking
And
about that day?
oh man, we are talking about our third creature of alchemy. Now, this one is going to be the next two are going to be very duh, as the next one we are going to be talking about the Chimera. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm,
There is a lot of lore on chimeras.
there is
A
a
lot.
ton of lore.
Mm-hmm. But
So I
yeah,
can't
other.
wait. And then I will
Mm-hmm.
be so we'll do that, and then we'll have another week of alchemy creatures,
Mm-hmm.
and then I already have some things slated in.
Ooh.
I know exactly what I want to do, and it will be a surprise for everyone, including you, when I announce
Yep.
it.
Yep. Because he's
Because
not even going to tell me until we are streaming. And I'll be like, okay, let me do some research real quick.
I will tell you the last day of alchemy.
Oh man, there we go. But yeah, come follow us on our social media, come join our Discord, come hang out with us. Zooey does the third Saturday, correct?
Yes. So I haven't put the announcement out, but if you're on the
Mm-hmm.
Discord
Mm-hmm.
and you meet the qualifications, I will be sending a message out when the Discord is
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
redone, because I'm
Yeah.
waiting because I'm
We
scared where I'm gonna lose the
yeah,
message
we are our Discord is currently going through a
through
maintenance
maintenance. It
on the
will.
4th. So,
So after that, I have a fantastic adventure planned. I know Kelly's going to be in this game,
mhm.
right? I
Yes.
think
Yes, I
Bishop's
am.
going to be there again. If not, that's fine. I hope he's there because this is one he'll really enjoy. And so I'm looking for two more slots. I have somebody will who will jump in if a if one of those slots doesn't fill up, but I'm prioritizing people who have not done a one shot yet. So DM me now on Discord, and we'll get you set up. I'll get you everything you need. I have a PDF ready to go for people who've never played the game, never heard of the game. It's a real simple game to learn. The PDF I send is 2 pages,
Mhm.
and it basically tells you all the things that you can do in the game.
I'm
So
excited.
I've got it set up. It's very beginner friendly. The game
Mhm,
system is called Monster of the Week. Well, the game system is called the by the Apocalypse system, but
mhm.
the game is called Monster of the Week. It just requires 2d6. That's it. 2d6. No complicated math, just 2d6. Um, so I'm looking for to share my love of this game with other people. That's going to do
Mhm.
it. Unless you got anything else.
No, not really that I can think of. Just join our socials, join Discord, come check us out sometime. We are having the giveaway, $200, not 2000s. I said it correctly this time.
Correctly this time. We're
Yep.
inching ever so closely to that 200
Mm-hmm.
follower mark.
Yep, we are. But yeah, just come check out our stuff. And if you like what we do, give us a follow, give us a share, give us a like, give us money. I don't know. Give us a hug.
The
I
hug.
mean,
Come
who
in and
doesn't? Yeah.
join our aggressively welcoming Discord.
Yes, we will yell welcome at you the minute you
Yes.
step in.
The minute you
So
pop
be pre-
in, we all yell welcome.
yes.
So, all right. Well, we will see you guys next week. And remember, folks, what you do know can hurt you.